Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 20, Scars. And I know it has taken me so long to finally review this episode. I've been really tired all day. I was really tired yesterday. I've had really bad allergies. So I just didn't really get a chance to review it till now, so I'm sorry about that. But thank God I can finally review it, because this was by far the best episode of the season. I mean, such a crazy episode, I have to say. I mean, so many twists. This is going to be an amazing finale. I can tell next week's finale is going to be amazing just from the end of this episode. The end of this episode is one of the greatest cliffhanger. It's probably the greatest cliffhanger Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s ever done, and I love that. And there's so many things I loved about this episode. First of all, I didn't expect it to have so many, have so many tie-ins to Age of Ultron, and I thought that was awesome to have all the tie-ins to Age of Ultron. But let's get into this episode because it was amazing. By far best episode of the season. There's a lot to talk about. So, we start off 1 year ago. Basically, the beginning, I'd say like the beginning of Season 2, like in literally like right before Season 2 started. And we see Billy again, who... We have not seen the twins Billy and Sam since the beginning of the second season, so it was cool to see them again. Basically, Billy wakes up when his brother Sam calls him, and Sam says that's a flight coming. I believe they died. I can't remember. It felt so long ago since we've seen these two that I think they died. I'm not sure, though. So they argue about their online game, and Billy then puts on a suit, checking himself in the mirror, greets Coulson. He arrives, and Coulson says everyone is settling in at the playground, and Gemma is fitting in undercover at Hydra. And Billy reports that Hydra probably took out Robert, and this is when they thought Robert Gonzalez died, and Coulson tells him it's keep looking. He warns that he doesn't have much time, and we find out what Theta Protocol is. It's basically this plane that's failing on them, and Billy confirms that their new project is codenamed Theta Protocol, and they then go into the hangar where the new helicarrier is under construction. Basically, it's a new helicarrier that they're designing. So that's what Theta Protocol is, and I like finding out what that was, because that's something I think we've wanted to know all season, is what the hell is Theta Protocol? Now we finally know what it is, and I love that just from that little flashback, we know what Theta Protocol is, and I thought that was awesome that they did that, because, we didn't have to ask what Theta Protocol was. We now know what it is, which was awesome. So, Coulson then hands over the Theta Protocol lanyard to Robert and his board members, and he's talking about the attack that Ultron made on the city in Avengers Age of Ultron, all the damage that he did, and people aren't really trusting right now of Coulson. And I loved seeing the scene because I did not think they were going to have as many tie-ins to Age of Ultron. They really did. So, Joss Whedon threw us all for a loop. Who's surprised? I'm not really surprised. He threw us all for a loop. So he basically says that Fury thought he needed a false safe off the books, and Weaver doesn't approve. But Bobbi points out that Coulson saved a lot of people, which, yeah, he did. And Coulson says that he found out that the ship had survived, and he felt that he had failed as a director because he didn't try to stop it, and he admits that he did. And I kind of do agree with him, because we did not see S.H.I.E.L.D. one time in Age of Ultron, and... probably because they have so much else going on, they just couldn't stop it. And I like that they actually mentioned that, because it was kind of weird to not see Coulson in Age of Ultron, but that's because they have so much else in their hands right now that it was just really overwhelming. So he tried to do it all alone, and that was a mistake, and proposes that they have one S.H.I.E.L.D. with him as director under their advisement, which I think is the best thing to do. Just put these two S.H.I.E.L.D.s together, merge them, and there won't be any fights. There'll be a lot less conflicts. There'll be a lot more time to get things done that need to get done, and I think it's a really good idea. So, Robert's pretty impressed, but he warns that they have a battle closer to home that a helicarrier simply won't solve. There's definitely more that, the helicarrier is not going to solve. So in the infirmary, Daisy looks at the unconscious Lincoln's bedside while Jem and Fitz watch, and they wonder what Daisy will do once Lincoln recovers. And the brain scan on Maya finishes, and Gemma tells her that the Hydra indoctrination is gone and Maya's mind is on her own. So she says the fact that Sunil is gone helped her, unaware that Gemma actually killed Sunil. She doesn't know that. So the lights flicker, and Daisy assures Lincoln that he's safe as he wakes up. And again, if you remember, we had that awesome scene last week where Daisy healed Lincoln. It was awesome. And he realizes that S.H.I.E.L.D. has him. He realizes that S.H.I.E.L.D. did this to him. And Daisy assures him that he can trust her friends, because she can trust S.H.I.E.L.D. She wants to be able to trust S.H.I.E.L.D. And he says that she shouldn't have come for her. And now S.H.I.E.L.D. won't stop until they find Afterlife, which obviously... I was thinking what was going to happen is that S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to merge with Afterlife. However, after this episode, no way that is going to happen. No way. And we'll get to that. But basically, at Afterlife, Raina tells one inhuman, Michael, that his son will have great power when he comes of age. And once Michael leaves, Gordon comes in and Raina says he was right about her gift, and now she's having visions all the time and is coming to peace with her fear. But she does admit that sometimes she can't distinguish her dreams from her visions, which I liked finding that out because it's true. She could be having dreams and visions. What she had last week was a vision. That's definitely what she had. And she doesn't realize that this was a vision. These were not dreams. And I like seeing that Raina doesn't really know how to distinguish the difference. So Raina describes seeing a giant stone that wasn't a stone, then it became waves, and Gordon asks if there were cavities carved into it, and they tell Jiaying. And Jiaying says the stories of their ancestors describe the stones, which was created by the Kree to destroy them, and Gordon says they might be able to narrow that down its location, and Raina says that, and if she sees the place, that she'll know it, and after a moment, Jiaying tells them to go together to find it. So Gordon and Raina teleport about the helicarrier, and Raina says that it's there. They move down the hallway, and Raina says that she remembers a red door from her vision. Now, they just want to see if this is really real, if what she's seeing in her visions is real, and if it's actually going to happen. So, they take cover as Bobbi and Melinda walk by, discussing whether Lance will forgive Bobbi. And I like that they did ask that question, because it's true. Lance, has forgiven Bobbi, though. Here's the thing. He did forgive Bobbi. He told Bobbi that, he's not upset with what she did. And I think he has forgiven her. I think, they don't realize that, but I think Lance honestly has forgiven Bobbi, definitely. So, at Aftermath, Jiaying asks Cal if Raina is dangerous, and she points out that Raina convinced Daisy and Gordon to go after Lincoln despite the danger, and Cal explains that she persuaded people to bring her pastries and dresses, but she soon became selfish and demanded more, and as continued through the halls, Raina says she envies Gordon because he's useful to Jiaying, and I think it honestly was a really good line because we can see that definitely they had some sort of, competition going on. Now we know why. So as she asks why Jiaying brings so few through the mist, Lance spots them, and of course, they can't have Lance see them. So Gordon teleports away, and Lance spots the alarm. It's a pretty awesome scene, I have to say. And Coulson and Robert, in the meantime, are figuring that they're going for the cargo in the hold. So Gordon and Raina teleport into the hold and find the stone, which liquefies and then resolidifies into a stone tablet. So Bobbi and Melinda come in, and Gordon teleports away with Raina. They have to keep their cover the whole episode. It's pretty crazy, if you can't tell. So later on the bridge, Robert admits that he should have destroyed the stone. He tells the others that they recovered it from a dig site 100 years ago, and Lance works with a sketch of Raina adding thorns, while Coulson says that the toolbox said that Hydra was looking for it. So they question Daisy, who says that she hasn't heard anything about the stone. She knows nothing about it, and she insists that Jiaying and Lincoln were good people and helped her to channel her power, and that's the only reason she worked with them, because they helped her. Even though they don't really want her to work with them, I can't really blame Daisy. I mean, they were helping her with her power. They made her a lot more comfortable. I mean, Lincoln and her are like best friends now, honestly. That's really why Daisy stuck with them, because they helped her channel her power, and they can't be upset with her for that. She wanted to channel her power. She wanted to get some help. She wanted to know what was going on with her. The only way she could do that was to have Lincoln and Jiaying help her out. So Cal explains that she persuaded people to bring her pastries and basically, we don't see, she insists that, Coulson points out that Daisy hasn't said much about them, and Daisy says they call themselves inhumans, and I'm just like, oh shit, Daisy, you are getting yourself into a very deep hole, and Melinda and Coulson point out that Gordon and Raina boarded a military facility, and they know this happened. Daisy says that she heard about how Melinda dealt with Eva and Katya in Byron, and I like that she told Melinda about that, because it is definitely something that Melinda should have known. And Bobbi goes into the hold where guns are posted around the store container. She confirms it's secure and informs the board that the stone is safe, and Weaver has recreated Hydra's teleport detector, and Robert says that it's time to pay their friends a new visit. So later, the board meets with Coulson at the playground, and Robert asks what their plan of attack is, and Coulson wonders why they're playing attack, which I think was a good question. So Weaver and Robert insist that the inhumans are dangerous, and of course, Coulson's not really sure if the inhumans are dangerous. Because he's working with them, he really has no choice but to ally with them. So Coulson warns that they just finished one war, which, yeah, they did. They finished a war with Ultron. They just had that whole thing go on. So why would they, go after the Inhumans when they just had the whole thing with Ultron? And he wants to sit down with Jiaying using Daisy as a liaison, but Robert wonders if Daisy's loyal to them. And Melinda says that it's a good time to determine if they're friends, if their friend is with them, and I like that Melinda asked them that because you're not really sure. They're not really sure if they should trust Daisy. I think they should. I think Daisy is just in between sides right now. She trusts S.H.I.E.L.D, but she also trusts the Inhumans. And honestly, trusting the Inhumans, I don't blame her. They helped her train. They were the only ones that understood what's going on with her. She's been with them for so long. Plus, her mother's there. Her father's there. I can understand why she wants to be with the Inhumans. So I can totally understand that. So Gordon and Raina tell Jiaying about the stone, and Cal's there and insists that it concerns him as well since Daisy's still with S.H.I.E.L.D, and Raina tells him to come down. Cal accuses her of making things up so she can control the Inhumans, and I can understand why he's saying that, and he figures that she's spreading chaos because she thrives on it, and Gordon points out that he's powerless without his chemicals, and Jiaying interrupts them, pointing out that they are tied together by a history of thousands of years, and Daisy warns Coulson that he can't violate afterlife secrecy. Even if he wants to, he can't do that. So Coulson says that they need to assess their powers and put them on the index, and Daisy admits that she doesn't know what she is anymore. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know if she's, with S.H.I.E.L.D. She doesn't know if she's an Inhuman. She doesn't really know who she is, and I like seeing that scene, definitely. It really shows the journey that Daisy's gone through this year. So she offers to go ahead with Lincoln and talk with Jiaying and says that the woman is her mother. And I like that she told Coulson that. That's really why she's staying loyal, because Jiaying's her mother. She's not going to betray her mother. Her mother's not a bad person. And honestly, everything that, Jiaying, even at the end of this episode, I don't think is a bad person. I'm going to talk about why I think what happened with Jiaying happens. So as Melinda and Bobbi go to find Mac, Bobbi sees guards locking Maya up. She joins Mac as he lifts weights, and she admits that Lance hasn't talked to her yet about, what happened. And Mac warns her that Lance is using him to piss her off by forgiving him right away. And Bobbi admits that she's never been as emotionally open as Lance has, and I like that she said that. I definitely like seeing that Bobbi said that. And Coulson finds Melinda on the hangar deck and tells her that Jiaying is Daisy's mother. And Melinda doesn't react, and Coulson tries to apologize. She doesn't really react to it. And she says that they don't owe each other anything. Melinda admits that she killed Katya to save everyone else. And I like that she told Coulson that. She told Coulson, because Coulson never knew that she killed Katya. And Coulson asked her to watch over him and put him down if he ever lost control. And she says that Coulson lost control, and Daisy proves it and walks away. And yeah, Coulson did kind of lose control. He did kind of lose control of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, Daisy leaving after that, yeah, he did lose control of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, then the other S.H.I.E.L.D. started, and I can definitely understand what she's saying there. So in the lab, Gemma finishes indexing Lincoln. She gives Gemma a hula doll from the bus before it went down, just as Coulson arrives and says that it's time to go. And as they leave, Lincoln tells Daisy that they only asked him his questions and took his blood, and Coulson insists that the Inhumans can trust them. So Daisy says they'll have to learn so that Gordon will pick them up, and in Afterlife, Raina tells Gordon that she's had another vision of Quintajets opening fire on Afterlife. And Jiaying is talking with S.H.I.E.L.D. to start the attacks, and basically she suggested they maybe should deal with these attacks, and I think it's a good idea. So Jiaying checks with her technicians and confirms they're packing up the Terrigen mist container, and Gordon picks up Daisy and Lincoln. And Daisy says they need to talk, and Jiaying sends Lincoln to the recovery room and goes with Daisy while Gordon and Raina watch them. So in her office, Jiaying says that they'll have to leave, and I like that Daisy and her have a conversation with them, because she had to have a conversation with her about this, definitely. I mean, they had to. So I like that she did, agree to have this conversation with Daisy. So basically, Daisy says that nothing has to change and asks her to meet with Coulson. She just wants the two to merge together. That's what she wants. She wants them to work together. And honestly, if they work together, then there's no feud. And there's nothing to be upset about. And there's no who do I trust here, because she can just work with all of them. And you can see that Jiaying really does not want to do this. Basically, I like that she tells Coulson that Coulson's the closest thing she has to family, which is true. Coulson's more like a dad to her than Cal will ever be, and that's because she's been with Coulson longer. There's nothing that Cal can do without her. Cal can never replace Coulson, and even though Cal wants to, Coulson is more of a father to her. So as office, Coulson plans how we'll go in, and Robert says that Coulson is too close to it, and they're facing one of the greatest threats to humanity. And Weaver agrees, but Bobbi disagrees. She doesn't think it's a big threat. And Robert points out that the Avengers let Tony Stark do whatever he wanted, and he unleashed Ultron. So how can he really trust Coulson? I like to keep comparing Coulson to Tony Stark because they definitely are very similar. Coulson asks Melinda what she thinks and says, and she finally says that Robert should go, conceding the matter. Coulson says that he'll stay behind and coordinate the mission. So in the lab, Fitz asks Gemma if she needs help with the indexing, and she realizes that's why he's not there. And he says that he's worried that she got killed. And Fitz admits that he wanted to kill Grant as well, but he couldn't. And that's because, he was worried about her safety. And now we know why Fitz went away, because he's worried about Gemma, and he doesn't want to, and he can't do anything about it. And I love seeing that. So Gemma admits that she did try to kill Grant, and she blames herself for failing. And I thought that was an amazing scene. And yeah, they're still not really sure if they can trust Grant, and I thought that was just a really well done scene. I definitely really like that. So Melinda tells Bobbi that Coulson wants them to scout around. They take off in one of the Quinjets, and Mac comes to see Coulson and tells him that he's leaving S.H.I.E.L.D. And basically, he still doesn't trust Coulson since he was brought back to life. And even though he's become, really close allies and friends with Coulson, he doesn't want any part of S.H.I.E.L.D. as long as Coulson's the director. So he hands over his badge, and Coulson says he's sorry to lose him, and I was sad to see Mac go, but I'm not really surprised that Mac is the one that left. I mean, he's the only person in S.H.I.E.L.D. that's not a main character, so obviously he's gonna leave. I really had no, I really knew he was gonna leave. So Robert's team takes off in Quinjets with Gemma alone, and when Cal learns what's happening, Jiaying says she has no choice but to meet with S.H.I.E.L.D. She asks if they can trust them, and Cal admits that Coulson cares about Daisy, and since he cares about Daisy, they should trust him. And now, Jiaying asks about the index, and Coulson says that S.H.I.E.L.D. will brand the Inhumans, and he suggests that they blast the Quinjets out of the sky, and assures her that he would follow her into a war, which honestly is really great. And it seems like Jiaying and Cal are going to ally with them, and Jiaying takes Cal's hand, says he's as bold as the day they met, and you can see that definitely they're starting, I think they're going to get back together, definitely. She says that she's the one who changed and refuses to lose Daisy again. Jiaying wonders what she can do to convince S.H.I.E.L.D. that the Inhumans mean them no harm. And honestly, Daisy shouldn't have to, secretly meet with her mother. This is her mother who cares about her and loves her. And I think definitely they should be able to be a family. And Cal suggests that she turn him over to S.H.I.E.L.D. so he can protect his family. And I think that's a really good plan. So I really thought this was going to happen. So as Bobbi and Melinda fly to Afterlife, Bobbi tells her that Mac quit, and Melinda admits that she's been thinking a lot about what she'd be without S.H.I.E.L.D. And Bobbi says that the one time she was tempted when Lance asked her to go. She almost left, if you remember, when Lance asked her to go. And I definitely feel like this is setting up the spin-off of Bobbi and Lance. Definitely this is what this is setting up, because we know that those two are getting a spin-off next year, and I feel like this is definitely setting it up. Do I really think they need one? No, but if they want to do one, I can see why. I can definitely see why they want to do that. So Coulson waits with Fitz and Lance, and Coulson admits that he has to trust the Council or S.H.I.E.L.D. will fall apart again, and Lance points out that S.H.I.E.L.D. will also fall apart if the Inhumans attack, which is true. So they have a pretty big dilemma here. They have to choose, do they want to ally with the Inhumans, or are they going to be enemies of the Inhumans? There are definitely some pros and cons to all of these. So Gordon comes to Jiaying's office and advances on her, and Weaver gives Robert a case and says that she'd like some more advance warning next time. And Daisy tells them that they're 10 minutes out, and aboard the lead Quinjet, Bobbi notices that the autopilot is activated Melinda, and Melinda's actually Kara. And this was an amazing scene. She draws a gun on Bobbi, says she should care less about her, and Kara drops her whole mask and says that she remembers what happened. Bobbi gets close enough to attack her, and the two fight, and as the Quinjet lands, Bobbi takes Kara out and goes outside. Grant shoots her with a tranquilizer dart, and I thought that was an insane scene. We definitely saw that. I mean, I thought that they'd be able to trust Kara and Grant, but now we see that they can't really trust them, and I thought that was really interesting that we found that out. So the Quinjets approach Afterlife, and Gemma reports that there are a lot more people waiting for them than expected, and Robert says that if Daisy has done her job, then he'll handle the rest. And Gordon goes to Raina, and she says that she's finally realized what her purpose in life is, and she asks where Gordon took Jiaying. And Jiaying and Daisy walk in. Jiaying says they know Raina has used her powers to take advantage of her good faith, and Raina insists that she's trying to save them, but Jiaying puts Raina under guard, and Raina yells after them that something terrible is going to happen if they don't listen, which is true. Definitely, Raina's seeing these visions. Something is going to happen, and they need to listen to her. So Gordon greets the Quinnipiac when it lands, and Robert and the others step out. He takes Robert to Jiaying's office and says that Coulson is at headquarters and he's negotiating, and Jiaying offers him Cal to benefit the larger goal, and asks Daisy to take Cal outside while she and Gonzalez discuss matters. So Daisy reluctantly agrees, and as they go, Cal tells her that she's magnificent, and she admits that she's glad she got to know him as well. And I thought that was a really great scene. I mean, they've had a lot going on this season, and of course, Daisy wasn't really sure if she should ally with Cal, but now that they're possibly merging with S.H.I.E.L.D., she has no reason to be afraid of Cal, and I thought that was great. And, the whole season, everyone's told her, your father's a monster, don't ally with Cal, and now she can make her own choice, which I love seeing. So, Robert tells Jiaying that the two of them were scarred by Hydra, but insists that S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't Hydra. She doesn't have to worry about this. And I like that he's trying to, convince her. And he hands Jiaying the case and tells her to open it. And at the Quinnipiac, Melinda's people secure Cal. Daisy asks what happened to Coulson. And Melinda says that Robert's a better man than she thinks. And, they've all told her that Robert's this terrible person. And Jiaying opens the case and discovers that it holds a necklace with a symbol to ward off evil spirits, and Robert tells her that they found it in Whitehall's office, and Jiaying admits that she never got to give it to her daughter, and, she always wanted to, and I thought this was a really great scene, because, Robert's really trying to help her, and Melinda tells Daisy that she hopes Jiaying is everything, and that she hoped and walks off. So Robert says that, and, Melinda really wants to work with Jiaying. She is interested in this, and I like seeing, one of my favorite parts of this episode is the different people's reactions to working with, the Inhumans, and Melinda, is very eager to work with Jiaying. So Robert says that S.H.I.E.L.D. is there to protect the public when bad people get powers, and he wants to meet the Inhumans so they can learn what they can do and protect the people that they're sworn to help. And Jiaying says that she has something different for Robert, and says that fear is what gives people the right to index those who are different. And it's true, I can understand what she's saying, though. A lot of them, they are not with the Inhumans. They're only scared of the Inhumans because they're different, which is kind of true. That's why they're scared of the Inhumans. So Melinda calls Coulson, says they have Cal. Weaver finds vitals on Cal. He claims that he doesn't know where they are. And Jiaying shows Robert this Terrigen crystal and explains that they learned how to make their own. They melt the diviner down, grow new crystals from it, but the metal's laced with their new crystals. The diviner is harmless to them, but for humans it's fatal. Jiaying then shatters a crystal on the table, and you can see that she does not give two shits what Robert says. She is not working with him. Robert gags, tries to draw his gun, but he begins to petrify. And furious, Jiaying says that Robert is nothing like her, promises that she will never let her people suffer again. Robert petrifies, and Jiaying takes his gun, shoots herself in the shoulder twice, and she kills Robert. So she staggers out as Daisy and the others come running and claims that Robert tried to kill her and says that it's war. So she is now going against S.H.I.E.L.D. and she is going to make it seem like S.H.I.E.L.D.'s the enemy. And I can understand why she wants to do this. I can totally understand this. I mean, Whitehall tortured her, and she pretty much thinks that S.H.I.E.L.D's the exact same way. She can't, trust S.H.I.E.L.D. for that, and I can understand why, and especially after seeing Robert. She didn't know Robert was working with them, and now knowing that Robert is working with them, she knows what kind of damage that Whitehall did to her, and she doesn't trust Robert, and I can totally understand that. So I thought that was amazing, but then that's not the end of the episode, because Grant then ties up Bobbi, and congrats on Kara on fooling S.H.I.E.L.D., and this whole time they played S.H.I.E.L.D., and I thought that was awesome. And she's wondering why they can't kill Bobbi now, and Grant says that closure is about digging in and doing the work, and he tells Maya that Kara that he'll show her, and then shoots Bobbi again as she starts to wake up, and that's how the episode ends. So, the finale is going to be fucking amazing. I can't wait for the finale. I can already tell this is going to be a game-changing finale. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here. Definitely. Let's talk about Jiaying. Okay. Daisy has no idea what Jiaying's plan is, of course. Now that she knows what's going on, they don't... definitely, I'm very interested in seeing what's actually going to happen here, and it's now going to be S.H.I.E.L.D. versus the Inhumans, which it's not going to end well, and they might just have to take out Jiaying. I feel like they're going to be forced to kill Jiaying because she is the one that started all of this. And if they kill Jiaying, then basically they can merge together. It's only Jiaying, and I don't want them to kill Jiaying, but I feel like now they don't have a choice but to kill her, and, she's going crazy. And I understand that she's thinking of past memories, but she is definitely going crazy here, and they have to kill her. Even though they don't want to, I'm pretty sure they're obligated to kill her, so we'll have to see what happens there. Daisy now has to choose a side. She has no choice now. She has to pick either S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Inhumans, and I think it's going to be really hard for Daisy, definitely. I think she's going to probably try to play both sides, but it's just not going to work anymore. She needs to choose, does she want to ally with S.H.I.E.L.D. or does she want to ally with the Inhumans? And I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen here. Now, how are they all going to react to Robert's death? They definitely want to know how to react to this, and Here's the thing. I really hope that Daisy stresses that Jiaying's the one that did this and not them. But Jiaying does have reasons to be angry, okay? She has reasons to be upset. I can understand why she's upset. I'm not mad at her that she did what she did. I can totally understand why she did what she did. You know, this was something she's wanted to do for years now. And she finally did it. And that's because she's always wanted to. So I can totally understand that. Okay, Bobbi. Are Grant and Kara gonna kill Bobbi? No, they're not gonna kill Bobbi. But how, what happened with Grant and Kara? You know, did the whole plan, was it all fake? You know, does Grant really care about Kara? Was he fooling all of them? I'm really confused as to what's actually going on there, but, you know, the thing, love, is that we have a 2-hour finale to explain all of this, and it's good it's 2 hours, because this finale needs to be 2 hours, okay? The amount of stuff that's gonna happen in the finale, it's probably gonna be epic, but we need 2 hours to fill it all up, and I like that they have 2 hours. So let's talk about Raina and Gordon. Now, Raina definitely says she has a purpose. How's Raina and Gordon going to react to this? I kind of feel like half of the Inhumans are going to go with S.H.I.E.L.D. and half of them, this is how the season's going to end. Some of the Inhumans will go with S.H.I.E.L.D., some of them won't. I think Raina, Gordon, they're not going to go with S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think Daisy's going to try to convince Lincoln to ally with them. I see Lincoln definitely allying with them. I see that definitely happening. Cal, probably. I definitely see it happening, because wherever Daisy goes, Cal's gonna go. If Daisy allies with S.H.I.E.L.D., Cal's gonna ally with S.H.I.E.L.D. And Jiaying, I think, is gonna be dead. Okay, I'm sorry, but I think she's gonna die. Now, since we know Bobbi's not gonna die, are Bobbi and Lance really gonna leave? You know, is Lance gonna have a conversation with Bobbi? Because obviously, Mac's leaving, and, you know, Bobbi really wants to have a discussion with Lance, but does Lance really want to talk to Bobbi about it? I'm not really sure. I guess we'll have to see what happens. Also, do you trust... Now, Melinda really wanted to work with Jiaying, so do you think Melinda might end up working with the Inhumans? I could definitely see it happening. I mean, she really was interested in those two working together, but would she really betray Coulson? I'm really not sure. Coulson, I feel, is a little bit more sympathetic to Inhumans than Robert ever was, so I definitely could see this actually going well and Jiaying not getting killed, but I'm pretty sure that Jiaying is probably going to die for what she did. I just don't see her living after killing, you know, the person that created S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't see her living. I just don't see that happening. What's going to happen with Theta Protocol, I don't really know. I guess I'll have to see, but I like finding out what Theta Protocol was. Is Coulson just as bad as Tony Stark? Do you trust Coulson? Do you think he's a good leader? I could definitely see, you know, I could definitely see someone else taking over. Honestly, if I could see anyone else taking over, it could be Jiaying. Jiaying could take over. But here's the thing. She's against S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. We literally see in the promo, she's like, S.H.I.E.L.D's the enemy. We got to take him out. I heard her say that. So, I don't know what's going to happen. Shit's about to go down in the finale. It's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait for it. Seriously, I can't wait for the finale. It's going to be an amazing... I can't wait to see what happens in the finale. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw of this episode. Oh my god, guys. The finale is going to be fucking amazing. I can't wait for it. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Finding Carter. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.